So are you able to see my screen? Please confirm.
Yes.
Okay. So, okay, please tell me that whether you are able to hear me properly or not. Is there any echo from my side?
No.
Okay,
Your voice is clear.
okay. Thanks. So I think, okay, let me again check whether the recording is started or not. Okay, it is started. So what we are going to cover today, as you can see on my screen, strategy to drive the data from Excel to Selenium test case. So till now, what we have done, whatever the data we are providing to our test case, right? So we are hard coding the data every time. So whether you are just hitting one URL, suppose you are hitting google.com, so you are just hard coding the data here. You can say in your what I need to say here. Suppose if you have to open one website, then how you will do like that. Okay, so I hope you all are clear with it. So till now we used to do like that, but what we should do, we should not hardcode the data here. We should not hardcode the data here. It should come from another file. Like suppose one example is Excel, right? I hope you all might have worked with Excel, even if you are from the automation background or from the manual one. So what we are doing, so as of now we are not working with URL, but see here some data is written in my screen. You can see. So I've already created it to save the time. So you can see this is the college test case. You can say. So here we have three test case. Test case one, test case two, and this is my third test case. And you can see this is the data one for this test case one, which is Narendra, and you can see the data two here as well. And in the data three, we are just I just provided one email ID, right? You can see on my screen. You can see, okay. So these are the three students in this college, okay? In this college, suppose college name is anything. So we have three test cases. So our intention is to fetch this data from this Excel file, which is test Excel, and we have to use this in our test case, right? So how we are going to do that, we will see it here. So is it clear to everyone what is the agenda for today?
Yes.
Okay. So if I open this, before writing any code, let me come to this. So here you can read this is one API. This Apache POI is an API provided by the Apache Foundation, right? Whoever has created this Apache Foundation. So this POI is a collection of different Java library, right? And what I have written these libraries gives the facility to read, to write, and manipulate the different Microsoft files such as Excel sheet. Okay, sorry. Okay, so what we are going to see, this POI will help us in getting this data from here to our test case, right? So to do that, we have two dependency, right? This is one dependency. Let me write it here, and this is my second dependency. Okay, so these two other dependencies which we have to provide to our project. Okay, then only our project will be able to access all the methods present in that. So how to get these dependency? Before that, let us first come to Eclipse. Okay, so here I have already created one project. This is my project name, which is Excel. Okay, so here you can see this is the pom.xml file, which is a main project. I hope you all know how to create a project in Maven. So let me also show you one more time. Okay, so just go to new, then go to project. After that, you will come here, Maven project, and then click on next. After that, you will say next, and then just use this. Okay, this is the most famous one. Okay, we are going to use this architecture. Okay, and then just click on next and just provide the whatever the project name you want to write here. Okay, so as of now, I am not making it again. You can do it. Okay, from your side. I hope you all know how to create a project in Maven, right? You all know how to create a project. Is it clear?
Yes, yes.
Okay, okay. So this is what I have done. I have created one Maven project. After that project, after in this folder source test Java, I have created one package. This is my package. Okay, inside that package, I have made two classes. Okay, so as of now, focus only in this second class, which is Excel demo, right? So this is our second class. Okay, so I have just created two classes, or you can give any name. It's up to you. So after that, we have to make some changes here. Okay, so what we have to do, as I have told you here, these two are the dependencies which we have to provide to our project. Okay, so how we are going to get the dependencies here? If I open Chrome browser, just type Apache UI XML Maven dependency. Okay, then you will come here and see here. You can choose anyone. Let me click this. So if you here, so you can see this POI dot POI hyphen OOXML, right? This is the dependency which we are interested in. So just copy this and then come to form.xml file and inside the dependencies tag. Okay, so where is the dependencies tag? Here it is the one. So you can see that I have already pasted the file here. Okay, so I am not doing it again. But when you do it for the first time, you have to paste the entire text which you have copied from the website, right? So this dependency which we have provided to our project, and after that we have to provide one more dependency which is this one, POI. Okay, so how you are going to get that? Again the same, just write Apache POI. So if I click this, and I think you can come here, click this latest one, and then you can see this is the POI dependency. This is the POI dependency which we are interested in. So copy this again and come to that. And if you see that I have already, you have to just paste it here, right? But I will not paste it again because you can see I have already done it. Okay. So after that you will paste these two dependency. Okay. So here you can see that I have pasted one more dependency which are from this dependency I'm getting all the Selenium jar. So I hope you know how to do that as well. So you can just paste these three dependencies. Okay, after that hit Control and save. I'm just saving the project, so it will download the necessary resources here as you can see on the bottom. So let us wait for that to finish. Okay, then I will come to my Excel demo folder, sorry class. So I think it is still building. Okay, so let me first come to this. So how we are going to fetch, how to fetch the data. You can say data from Excel sheet. So below are the steps as you can see. So before going to these one, I am saying that create this class. There is one class, this class, from where this class is coming. These two dependencies which we have provided to our project, right? POI and POO So this class is present inside these inside these dependency. These two dependencies, right? So after that, what I am saying, what is the first step you should do? Just create the object of this class, class object. Let me write it clearly. Okay, after that we will get, see what happened. Let me first deal with this one, then we will come to this. Okay, so let us first create the object of this class. So what this class will do, this class has the powerful, you can say, to get hold of your Excel sheet. So here if I come, let me open my sheet first. So let me open my sheet first. And so here, as you can see, that I have made created on Excel file, right? Sorry, I have just put some data, dummy data, and you can see if you come to this bottom, this is one sheet. Okay, it is empty sheet. Here is my actual sheet. You can see, and this sheet is also empty. This is also empty. Likewise, there can be more than n number of sheets, right? You can create, I think, hundreds of sheets. So likewise, here I am having just data here. So what I will do, first I will create the object of the class, which is this one. So what I'm saying, this class has the powerful capacity to get hold of your sheet. So inside this Excel sheet, we are interested in this one, right? So let us first create the object of the class. So if I come to this, so let me copy this. Okay, I covered this and let me come to my Eclipse. So let us first create the object of this class, which is, let me paste it here. So let me give the object as fs equals to name, and we will get one error, then import the package. Okay, so this is the package imported. So there is one more thing that, see, we are saying that this class will have the capacity to get hold of your Excel sheet, but this object, this fs object, do not know where your Excel is present, right? This is my Excel. If I come to my desktop, okay, if I come here, so this is my Excel sheet. Okay, so this is the location. You can say this is the location where your sheet is present, right? So if I copy this, copy the path. Okay, so I hope you. Okay, I don't think that you know that, but as of now, I will tell you that there is one class. Okay, so this is not Java one, but this class file input stream, and let me write FIS equals to new file input stream. Okay, let me write capital S here. So think, okay, let me import the package. So this is the package. Okay, so it is saying provide add argument. So what it is asking us, provide the path where your Excel is located. So if I provide the path like this, and I will put double slash, let me, what is the file name? So what is the file name? You can see from here, test-excel. So let me provide the file name as well at the end. Test-excel. And what is the format of this Excel? Which is Excel XX. Okay, so providing this format at the end is mandatory. Otherwise, your code will not work. Okay, it will throw the error. So let me add this. Okay, add source declaration. So what we are doing here, see, you can see this class, this file input stream is a class in Java which has the capacity to perform any operation on this file, right? So it can open this Excel, right? So we are just providing the path of our Excel to this argument, and this object will now have the capacity to perform, to open this file or to close this file or to read the data from this file. So this is how this class will work. And after that, what we will do, we will just copy this object and provide the, you can say, object here. So if you, okay, let me add the throw declaration again. So what I'm trying to say, understand here, this class file input stream has the class to read the file, to open the file, to close the file, which is this one. And we are just placing the file path here, and this object has the power to perform any operation on this file. After that, we are providing this object to here. So if we provide like that, then what will happen, this fs object will have the knowledge of this file, where this file is located, right? Because we are providing the path here, and giving the path to this object. If we provide object like this here, then this object will know, this class object fs will know where your Excel file is located due to this one. And after that, what I was saying that you will have some methods inside this class, which is this one, right? To get a hold of your sheet. So this is the first step we have to do always. Okay. So after that, what I will do, if I come here after this class, so we will make use of this object. Let me copy this. Okay. If I say fs dot get number of sheets, there is one method, you will see. This is the method. And if I say integer of, you can say sheets. So let me first try to show you this part only, what this code is doing. So you can see this method, get number of sheets, will return you the total number of sheets present here. So what is the total number of sheets? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so we have total 8 sheets here. So if I close this, so if I try to run it, you will see it will provide, what is the sheet it will provide. See here. Okay, so it has failed. Okay, so I have written this Excel incorrect here, right? So it is Excel, okay. So this is the reason it has thrown the error. See what is the error, you can see. the system cannot find the file specified because I have given the file name as incorrect. So again, let me run it. So if I run it again, so you can see the number is 8, right? So you can see if I open my Excel again, this is the Excel. So you can see uh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, let me open it in maximize mode. So you can see total 8 sheets are present here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So is it clear to everyone that how we are getting the total count of the sheets present in our Excel till now? Please confirm.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So after that, I will use one for loop. Okay, I will just run one for loop. So okay, so what I will do, I will use one for loop and I will run that for loop. See how for integer I equals to 0, I less than, you can say sheets, and I will just increment my I. After that, I will use one if condition. Okay, so I will be explaining you shortly what this code is doing. Let me write it first. So what we will do with the help of this object. Okay, so I will use this object, and if I put dot after that, I will use one method which is get sheet name. I think yeah, this is the method. If I write I here, and if I say dot equals, so what here I'm doing, I'm just fetching the let me write it first. So what is the sheet name? You can see here. So this is our sheet name, which is test data. Okay. So I'm just writing. Let me come here again. Let me write test data. So this is our actual sheet. Let me remove this. Okay. So after that, what I will do? Okay. Let me write this as well. So you will see every time what is the sheet name we are getting. So string. You can say name n equals to fs dot get sheet. You can say sheet data. Sorry, get sheet name. So this is the top one. Okay, if I write like this, so as of now, let us, okay, so let me not remove that. So after that, if we get the sheet, so what I will see, what I will write fs dot get sheet. Okay, let me first try to debug that so that you will understand more better what this code is doing. If I put one debugger here, till here, okay. So if I come like this, let me run that in debug mode this time. So you will see at line number 27, our code will stop because I have put one debugger. So here, so till now it has printed total count of 8 because we have total 8 sheets present. So what is the first sheet name? Sample one. So when I will say fs dot get sheet name, get me the sheet name which is present at 0 index. So which is, I think it is sample one. So if I try to, let me again. So what is the, you can say that sample one is written. Okay, so which is our first sheet name. After that, we are comparing whether this uh, sample one is equal to the our required sheet, which is false. So if so, this loop, if condition will get false, again we will check for I equals to 1. So this time, if you can say, I think, sorry, it is I equals to 1, this sheet will be present, which is test data. So if I try to run for the second time from here, so what it will return, I think it will return me test data. So you can see that this is our required sheet inside our Excel from where we have to work. So if I come this, then this method it will check whether this name test data is equal to this one, which is correct. So then we will come inside of this, and okay, we will perform some actions on it. That after that, what I am saying, at I equals to 1, fs dot get sheet at I. So this time I am not fetching the name of the sheet. This time I am saying get me the whole of the sheet, which is this one. what I'm saying, get me the whole on this sheet. So let me write it here as well. If I, so we will say not fetching name here. We saying get me, get us the whole of this test data sheet. So is it clear to everyone that what this code is doing? Then we will proceed forward. Okay, so I hope
Yes.
it is clear. Then what? So if we are getting something here, right? This method will return one sheet, so we have to catch that sheet as well. So if I let me just remove that dot get sheet. So if you see that this is the one, so you can see what is the return type XSSF sheet. So here on the left hand side, if I have to catch that sheet, I will make one variable of type, which is this one. And if I write on my sheet, so this is the one that will, so this is the one you have to import. Okay, so let me not write it here because this is after that I do not want to again come inside the for loop. So let me write this outside. Okay, at global level. So let me make it somewhere here. So let me make it here. And as of now, we do not have any sheet here. So I'm saying none. After that, when we will get the required sheet, I'm just saying. So inside that, you can say what is the variable, right? We have this sheet, which is this one. Now we are going to perform operation on the sheet, which is we have to fetch the data. So how we can do after that? So we came out of the for loop, right? So I will write it from here because for loop will terminate here. After that, we will write our code. So after that, we will write our next code. You can say. So after that, what I will do? Okay. So we came to this sheet. So as I have already told you about the iterator concept. Okay. Again, I will use iterator concept here. What iterator will do? That will iterate our all the rows. So you can see this is my first row, second row, third row. Likewise, there can be thousands of rows, right? So that iterator will help us to iterate over this first row, second row, and likewise to n number of rows. So let me first create the iterator. So if I come to this and if I say sheet, so this is the sheet. We got the sheet here. Okay, we got the sheet here, which is test data. After that, if I try this object dot, if I say R O W data. So this is the iterator. So what it will return? It will return me an object which is of type. If I say on the left hand side, it will return me an iterator which is of type. You can say row, and I will say rows. So what this step will do? Let me first import the package. So this is the package, and again import this one for as well. So error will be gone. So what will happen? This will return me an iterator, okay, over the rows, and we are catching it here. So see here how this will work. Suppose if I come here, I think I have already taken one inspiration for the same. So when we will get one iterator, so iterator will be like that. See here, let me write it here. So suppose this is our iterator where I have cached the iterator. So this is our iterator. So this iterator will going to will help us to traverse each and every row present inside this you can say Excel workbook. So right, it will help us to traverse. So as of now, it is not pointing to any of the rows, right? So let me remove this. So I hope you all know. Let me again come here. So if I say like this, this is our iterator object. Copy this object. So after that, I'm saying dot next. So what this will do? See here. So iterator. Sorry, on the left hand side. Now I will write row, which is my first row. So what this will do? This next method, this next method will move our iterator object. So I think this is my iterator object. When I will say rows dot next, what will happen? This iterator will start pointing to our first row, which is this one. So you might be wondering that this is our first row, which is true. But here you have not provided any data, right? You do not have provided any data, and here as well you do not have provided any data. So by default, where the data you have provided, it will directly, this iterator object will directly point to this one. Okay, rows dot next. Okay, so this is how with the help of next method. So if you provide rows dot next again, if you like write like that, row rows rows dot next again. So what will happen? Again, this iterator object. Let me write it. Okay, I am writing in short here. Okay, next. Again, if you call this method second time, what will happen? This iterator object will start pointing to this second row, right? As of now, it will only point to first row because we do not have, because we are using this next method only one time. So it will come to first row, or let me write it like that, where you provided the data. So after that, we come to the first row. So after that, what I will do, when I will, so I think, let me open this. So what we have done, first we have created the object of this class, which is this one. After that, we have already get the hold of sheet. So how we have get hold of our sheet with the help of this one. So we get the hold of our sheet. So these two are complete. After that, come to all the rows of the sheet. So how we are coming to all the rows of the sheet? You can see here. I am just coming to, with the help of this iterator, I am coming to all the rows of sheet. After that, we came to row. What is the next step? Come to specific row. So we have also come to specific row as well. So what is our specific row? This one. First one is our specific row. So how we came here? With the help of this method. Okay. So with the help of this method, we came to our first row. After that, if you come again, so after you will get access to particular row, you will say, I have to get access of all the cells of the row. So let me open the Excel again. So let me open. So you can see this is first row, second row. Okay. Likewise, there are 23. Okay, if I drag it here, so there are many rows here, you know that. So these are the cell, first cell, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth. So what I will do, after I get the access of this row, I will get the access of this each and every cell, which you can see. Likewise, there are many cells are present, right? It will not end. It will have. It is like a never ending. So here, what I am saying, I will, after I will get the access of this row, I will just come to, I will just traverse each and every cell where data is present. This is important, where data is present. We are not going to traverse this. We are going to traverse only those, you can say, cells where the data is present. So what I will do, I came here with the help of rows dot next method. After that, I will get the access of the cell. So see here, there is again one more method. If I come here, so we came to first row, copy this. Okay. After that, if I put, there is one more method which is cell iterator, right? So this will give me an iterator which is of type cell. So suppose that you catch that iterator on the left hand side. Okay, so iterator will be of type cell. Iterator, it will return me an iterator which is of type cell. And let me give any name. So let me give CE. You can give any name. Okay. So let me import the package. It is one error. So I think it is second one. Yeah. So after that, what I'm saying, I have just provided. See here again. Let me come here. So if I remove this, okay, so remove this. Okay, anyway, so what I am saying, that we came to first row already. After that, I have to traverse to each and every cell. So this is one cell. Okay, likewise, this is my second cell. So to traverse the cell of the particular row, this is one cell. Third one is also a one cell, and likewise, this is my fourth cell. Fourth cell. So to get the control over the cell of the first row, we are just saying cell iterator. So that will return me an iterator. So which is C. So after that, what will happen? If I come here, okay, if I come here again, so this will provide me an iterator. So let me write it here. which is CE. In this case, we are just writing the name as C. So this is my cell iterator. So suppose this is my cell iterator object. So as of now, it is not pointing to any of the cell of the first row. But if I have to, okay, so as of now, is it clear to everyone? Please confirm, then we will move forward. With the help of this, we will just traverse to each and every cell. Please confirm.
Yes.
Okay. So you might be wondering that why we are just fetching the cell. Actually, what I will do first, I will determine where this college test case on which column. Okay, so you can say this is the first zero column. As of now, zero. Suppose zero. Then this is my first column. Then this is my second. You can say third, and this is my fourth. So I'm writing it 3. So what I will determine, first I will determine where this Polish test case column is present. Once we have determined where it is present, then I will come to this one, okay. And when I will come to this one, I will fetch the data from here. You can say, okay. So let us understand first. So with the help of this cell iterator, I will come here. Then I will determine where this Polish test cases are present. Okay. So if I come to this, so after that, let me write some small code. Okay, so I will check by ce dot. So again, this is the same method which we have did already. Okay, that will check whether we are having next cell in our first row. Okay, this will just check. And if I say ce dot next, that will move you to the first cell. So you are doing it for the first time. So it will come here. Okay, let me put it again. When you provide ce dot next, it will first point to first cell. Okay, for the first time. If you provide ce dot next again, it will again it will point to second one. If you provide ce dot next again, it will come to third one, and after that, for if you provide it one more time, it will come to, you can say, fourth one, right, which is college test case. So we have to reach here with the help of the cell iterator. So if I come here, so this will, after that, let me catch it in one variable, you can say, which is of type cell. Okay, so I am just naming this as value. Okay, after that, what I will say, if I will use one if condition. In that if condition, so you might be facing some kind of issue for the first time because you are seeing that. So don't worry, I will also show you in the debug mode shortly. Then it will be clear to you what this code is doing. So as of now, what I'm saying, if this value, I am saying value dot get string cell value dot equals. So I am saying what it should be equal to. It should be equal to, I think, this is the one, right? It should be equal to this college test case. Okay. So in the equals one, I will provide college. You can say TC. So before that, let me copy this. Okay, because I am just showing you in the debug mode as well in a short while. So I am capturing it here. String cell as of now, suppose equals to, you can say, paste this. Okay. So okay, so to determine the column, we have to write some more code here. Okay, so actually, to determine the code, what I am saying, assume this is my zero column, this is my first. Okay, so as of now, understand this is, it will start from 0 and then 1, likewise 2, and then 3. Okay, so here, as of now, you can see this is our fourth column, but if you consider index, then it is my third column, right? So what I will do, I will come here, I will just name one variable which is int k equals to 0. Okay, and I will just use one more variable which is int column equals to 0. After that, whenever the condition will become true, I will say just column equals to k, and I will increment the k whenever. So as of now, I think we do not understand that. Let me first debug that code, then it will be clear to everyone. So let me first put some debuggers here as well. Okay, fine. Let me debug that again. Okay, Okay, I think I need to remove this. Okay, so okay, again it has started debugging. So again, okay, let me open Excel again. Okay, so you can at the runtime as well. If your Excel is open, it will not throw any error, right? So for the understanding purpose, I am opening my Excel. Okay, I thought that our data is gone. Here it is. So if I come to my Eclipse again, so what I'm saying, get the sheet name. So first time here you will see if I execute this. So I think it is sample one. Okay, condition will become false. Again, for loop will run. This time condition will become true. Okay, because our test case is this is our required sheet. So after that, I'm saying get me the sheet which is present at I equals to 1. So I equals to 1 is here. So we will get this whole sheet in our variable. So this is the variable, right? After as of now, you can see that it is saying none. But once you execute this, it will have a sheet here. Okay. So this is the sheet ID it has provided to you. After that, even the for loop will run. Condition will not going to match. So condition will false. Again, it will not match. After that, I think we will come out of the for loop. So I think I have made many sheets. This is the reason it is executing it again and again. So what is the sheet? It is sheet 6. How many sheets we have? Okay, we have only 6. Yeah. After that, for loop will not run. So after that, what I'm saying, I am providing one iterator object to all the row. Okay, I am providing one iterator object to all the row. If I come, if I again execute it, okay. So this object is here. As of now, this object is here, right? It is not pointing to anything. After that, I am saying rows dot next. This is the one. If I again execute it, so this first row, okay, that will point to, okay, let me again come here. So what is the, okay, let me rub this first, or let me take one more new one. So what is the iterator name? It is row iterator. I think it is first iterator, I think. So what is the name? First row. This is our iterator name. So if I write first, I am writing in short here, okay, first row. So this iterator object is created. After that, I am saying rows dot next. This is the rows dot next. So this iterator object will start. This is the one. Will start pointing to this one, right? Because here it is the first row. Yes, fine. Where the data is present, so it will point to this. After that, what I am saying, I am providing one iterator over the set of the first row. If I again click this, so what will happen after that? There is one iterator here, which is called cell iterator. C E. Okay. So let me write it correctly. So this is our second iterator, which is cell iterator. After that, what will happen? I am saying we came here. Okay. After that, I am not saying ce dot next here. We are just saying ce dot next here. Okay. So as of now, it will not point to any of the cell here. Okay. It is sitting outside. You can see it is sitting outside. After that, again I will, so it has one k variable integer type which has value 0. Okay, so you can say column equals to 0. After that, I'm checking. I hope you all are familiar with this method. Okay, we have used this method several times in our, when we are discussing how to handle the multiple windows in the Selenium. Okay, so what is this will check? This will check whether you are having any cell. Okay, let me come here. Ce dot has max. So it will check. Yes, we are having this first cell, which is data one, first name, right? So condition will become true. Okay, so condition will become true. So let me remove this. Okay, so it will only check. It will not remove your CE object, CE iterator. Condition will become true. Again, then we will come inside. So what we are saying CE dot next, and we are saying we are storing that in the value. So what will happen? CE dot next. As soon as you write CE dot next, this object will start pointing to this one, this one. Okay, and after that, what we are saying, I am saying that whatever the value this will give me, this is the value data one first name. So whatever the value it will return, I am catching it here. So you can say that we are catching it here. If I come this like this, and here what I am saying, whatever the value this variable has, get the value here, get strings and value. So what is the value we can see? So what you can see here, data1 first name, right, which is our this one. Okay, so again what I'm trying to do here, I'm checking whether this, so you can see that this is the same and this is the same here, right? So for understanding purpose, I am just using one extra variable. So you can say it will check whether data1 first name is equal to this one, Polish test case. So you can say here, this is not equal to our required equal object. So condition will become false. Condition will become false. So again, what will happen? See, we do not go inside of this if loop. What you can see here, I have provided plus plus k, which means k value will become to 1. If I come here, again it will check. So you can see that k value has now become 1. Okay, let me, you can see on the right hand side, k value has become 1. Again, condition will become true. Why? Because you already moved CE to here. Okay, so CE is sitting on this first cell. I am saying CE dot has next again. So it will check yes, next cell is also present. Condition will become true. So we will come inside the while loop like that. Again, I am saying CE dot next. So if I say CE dot next, what will happen? CE, this object will now point to our second, you can say cell like this. So this CE object will now point to this one, okay, second one, and whatever the value it will return, this will return this value, and I am catching that value in one variable, which is this one. I am catching the value here, okay. So if I execute this, and whatever the value it will get, I am saying get me the value in the form of string, okay. So that method will return you the actual value. So what is the value? You will see data to last name. You can see if I place my mouse, data to last name is my, which is this one, right? So this is how it will again check whether it is equal to our, you can say this one. It is not equal to this one. So again we have to, again we will come out of the if condition, and you will see k will again increase, k value will become 2 now. Again condition will be checked, CE dot has next, condition will become true. Why? Because CE is sitting here, and it CE dot has next will check whether the next cell is present, right? So what is the next cell? This is the one, third one, right? Next cell is present. Condition will become true. Again, we will go inside the while loop. Okay, I am saying CE dot next. This time, our CE object will be moved to this one. So it has now moved with the help of CE dot next. It will move to this one, and after that, what I'm saying, I am storing it here. So if I just press this, and I'm saying get me the value, get me the value. So what value it will get? You will get, this time you will get data 3, which is image. So this is the value you can see. So we have just retrieved this one, but as you can see again, this is not equal to this one. Okay, so here again our if condition will not become true, and we will not going to execute if condition. So we came here again, and I am again incrementing the value of k. So this time again k value has become 3, as you can see on the right hand side. Okay, so again condition will become check, again true. By CE dot has next. If I come here, so CE object is now here. So CE object, CE dot has next, what it will do? It will check whether the next cell is present, which is Polish test case, right? So condition will become true. If the condition will become true, we come inside, and I am saying CE dot next. So this method will actually move your CE object to this one, to last cell. Okay, CE dot next will move your CE iterator to last object, sorry, last cell, which is Polish test case. And after that, I'm saying I'm storing that last cell in this variable, which is VAL, and I'm saying from that variable get me the value which is written inside that cell, get string cell value. After that, I'm saying if I say like that, so if you see here Polish TC, this time condition will become true, and I am going to get my desired column. So you can say what is the column we got. See, okay, also I have shown you here. So this is my first column, assume. Okay, so if I come here, then one, then two, and this is my third column. So we reach here. So we are very sure that wherever this Polish TC is present. So is it clear to everyone that how we are going to know that from that where this Polish TC test cases are present? So you can see that in the third column we have three test cases, which is test case 1, 2, and 3. So is it clear to everyone?
Yes.
Okay. After that, what I am going to do? So let me first try to run that whether it is working correctly or not. After that, what I will do? Let you come here and just print the column number. System.out.println column number plus COL. Okay, I think it is column. So what will happen? Okay, let me try to run that, and you will see that we are going to get our required column. So this time I think I have run it in the run board. So I'm not going to debug this time. So you can see that column number is 3, right? So likewise, suppose this Polish TC is present here. So at that time, what you will get? You will get your column number as 2, right? As of now, it is present. Okay, so you can try some modifications from your side. Okay, then if your Polish TC column is present here, then you are going to get your column number as 1. Okay, so after that, what we will do? So you will be able to know that where your you can say test sorry, this is the test case column, and after that we should come here. Okay, so again what I will do, when we go to know the column number, after that I will say I will again make one iterator for row. So if I use the iterator again for rows, so if I come here, so I think this is the iterator we have created, I think. Okay, so this is the iterator, right? We have used it for the first time when we are just providing one rows iterator over the entire row. So let us create a one. I'm not going to use that. Okay, you can use the previous one as well. So let me creating the, you can say, iterator of the row. What will happen? This will give me one iterator, which is this name. And with the help of that iterator, I will be able to traverse each and every row. Okay, so these are the row. So what I'm saying again, I'm just placing one iterator over the row. After that, I will say row are equals to, let me confirm this, what I'm saying, then you have to uh, come to first row. So this variable r will have the capacity to come here. Okay, it will come to this first row. This is our first row. Okay, after that what I will do, I will again use one if condition. If you see here, I will again use one if condition. If r dot get cell, so it is expecting one integer value. Here I will just provide the column. This is my column variable, right? And it will have 3. So again I will iterate each and every row, but while iterating each and every row, this time I'm only interested in this third column, right? So I'm not going to traverse each and every row, but I am interested in this first column. So what will happen? So again, if I come here, after that I will say get string. So again we are using this method that will just grab the text present in that cell, and after that I'm saying equals. Okay, let me dot equals. So what I'm saying, you have multiple test cases in this column, right? This is one test case, this is one test case, this is one test case, right? So you have 3 as of now. You have 3. Likewise, you can have n number of test cases present in this column. After that, if I'm interested in this one, test case number 2. So what I will write here, I will say it will is it equal to test, and I will write case 2. If it is equal to the test case number 2, then what we are interested in, if it is equal to this one, then I want to print all the value, or you can say I want to get all the values in my any test case of Selenium, right? So after that, again I have to, if I have to get the value, I will use cell iterator again. If I come here, after that if condition, what I will do, I will say this will point to my first row, and after that, sorry, it will point to, okay, yeah, first row. After that, I'm saying then I will provide one cell iterator again. You can say cell iterator and iterator of type. Okay, so again I'm saying that even if you are confusing, I will show you in the debug mode again. Then it will be clear to everyone. Iterator of cell, which is of type CV. You can give any name. As of now, I'm giving CV. Okay, after that, I'm placing one cell iterator when we got our desired test case name. Okay, after that, what I'm saying, after you get the cell iterator again, you will check while CV dot has next whether you are having any more cell present. If it is present, then I'm saying cell of C equals to CV dot next. After that, if I come, what I am trying to do, when you will reach to the first cell, what I will do, I will simply print the value. Let us first check whether the code is working, then I will show you in the debug mode that how it is working. You see we dot get, sorry, not CV, it is C dot get string cell value. So braces, extra braces. Okay, let me first run it. Okay, then from here to here, I will show you in the debug mode. But first, let me check. So here, if I run this test case, so this is the test case. So I think these three data should be printed in our console. So let us check. Okay, so it has not printed. Test case 2. Test case 2. So what is the column number here? 3. Okay, let me try to run it one more time. Otherwise, we will check what is the issue we are getting. Okay, so it is not printing our required one. So let us first try to debug that. Okay, then if we will have any issue, then we will remove that issue. So I think we came here. Okay, I think I've already explained you. So I will directly come here. So if I again execute this, okay, I think this part is also completed. Okay, how we are getting the column number I've already explained you. So I have to directly come to this line. So let me again press this. Okay, after that we came here. So we are saying, again I'm placing one iterator and I'm saying then this is my iterator object. Okay, rows hyphen second. So if I let me again take one screenshot of the same. So if I take this, so this is the iterator we are again using, which is this rows hyphen second. So this is the iterator rows hyphen second. Okay, I am writing in short here SEC. Okay, so this is the iterator we are again saying. So as of now, it is pointing to all the row. It is not pointing to any particular row. After that, I am saying this dot next. So what will happen upon placing on writing this next? It will start it point to this first row, which is this one. Like okay, where the data is present, so it will point to this one. After that, let me again execute it. So it will point to, and what is the variable we are catching? R. So here you can say both it is equal to R, right? Because we are, so R is also pointing to this first row. This first row. Okay. After that, I am saying, I am asking R dot get cell. So what it will do? This will get me this cell, which is this one, Polish TC. last one, okay? Because here the column number is 0, 1, 2, 3. So this will be given to by this, and I'm saying get me the string value. So I think the string value will be college TC. Okay, I think I should have written. Okay, so there is one more point. Actually, if I come here, see, you are not interested in this one as of now, right? You got the column number, but you are interested in this one. So we should not compare. If I come here again, okay, I think it is correct. Okay, I think I should have done like that. Let me stop it again. Okay, I missed one point before that. Before that, if condition, I will use one while loop. Okay, because it is not, we want to run our loop till it become true. So I will again use one, you can say this one, whether it is equals to dot has next. Okay, if it have, then we will just going to place this if condition inside that. So let me first try to run that whether it is working this time. I think this time it will work fine. We have not given this one. This is the reason it was failed. So you can see that it has printed all the. So this is forgot about these one, right? This is our actual data of test case to Rahul Gandhi, and this is, you can say, whatever the email ID is today. It is quite familiar with this. This is the reason that you can see the email ID. So now this time I will show you what is happening again. So it will take some time, but anyways, okay. So I think from this point I have to explain again. Okay. So this time if I run this, so let me remove the level from here and from, I think, here as well. Again, let me remove the lower from here as well, because we have already covered that. Okay, so again I'm saying this will return me an iterator, which is this one, rows hyphen second. Okay, and it is as of now until and unless we are not specifying this. So what here you can say rows second dot has next. It will simply check whether you are having any row. You can say that here we are having the first row. So the condition will become true. So we will going to inside this while loop. We will come inside this while loop because the condition is true. And after, okay, because the condition is true, and after that what will happen? I'm saying dot next, which means this this rows hyphen second will now start pointing to this first row. So this is our, you can say, on the highlighted one, this is our first row, right? So it will start pointing to that. After that, I'm saying I'm giving that row in this R variable, which is of type row. So R will also start to point to this first row. This is our first row, right? After that, what I'm saying, if I come here, R dot get cell. So we know that our desired column number is what, which is this one, because you can see all our test cases names are present here, right? So first we will come here. So I'm saying R dot get cell, which is 3. Okay. So if I get the cell number at 3, so what is the cell number for the first row? 0, 1, 2, 3, right? So this is the cell. Okay. After that, I'm saying after you will get me the cell, just give me the text present in that cell. So what is the text here? You can see the text is this one, Polish TC. So the condition will become false because it is not equal to this one. So this time if condition will become false. Okay, you can see here we are not going inside the if condition this time. Again, condition will be checked while rows second hyphen dot, this dot has next. So again this iterator will check, if I come here, whether you are having any more rows after this first one. So you can see you are having the next row. So the condition will become true. Again we will come inside this, you can say, while loop. Sorry, okay, you already came. Okay, so after that condition will become true again. We came inside, and I'm saying rows hyphen second dot next. So this time this iterator, this one, will going to point to this second row. Okay, it will not point to first one because I am saying rows dot next for the second time, so it will again point to second row, and I am saying what I am saying, it is equal to this one. So this R variable will hold that. So R variable now also started pointing to this second row. This is our second row. So what will happen? Again I am saying in if condition, once you will get the second row, I am saying get me the column number of the second row. So what is the column number of, if I come to second row, you will see that you will come here because this is third column, 0, 1, 2, 3, right? So for the we are here. So I'm saying get me this cell. Okay. After that I'm getting the cell which is present at the index 3 for the second row. I'm saying get me the string cell value. So what is the string cell value here? Which is test case 1. Okay, so again condition will become false because it is not equal to test case 2. So again you will see that if condition is not executed, but when you execute for the third time, again condition will going to check. So if I come here, if I say, so this time I am saying rows dot next again. So what I am saying, for the first third time I am checking this dot has next. So it will simply check whether the next row is present. So you can say yes, next row is present, right? Which is this one. You can see which is this one. So after that condition will become true. So we will again going to execute this while come inside. Okay. After that I'm saying dot next. So this next method again will move this iterator to this one. Okay. Now our iterator is pointing to this row. Okay. After that I'm saying equals to r on the left hand side. So this variable r variable will also going to point to this third row. So it will not point to the second row as of now. It will just point to this third row r variable, right? Because we are catching this object in this variable, right? So it will again point to this third row. So this time if you see, if you try to execute the if condition, so if I execute this, it will check first what I am seeing again, get me the call cell present at the index 3. So as r is pointing to this one, okay, let me, as r is pointing to this one, this row, right? So I'm saying get me the cell which is present at the index 3. So this is our index number 3. Okay, column number 3 you can say. So get me the cell. So once you will get the cell, I'm saying get me the string value present inside the cell. So if you, and after that you will, what you are going to get, you will get this test case 2, which is our actual text. So this time if condition will be checked, this time condition will become true. So you can say that we came inside of this if condition, because the condition is true. This is our desired test case, and once you will be sure, after that again what I'm saying, I am placing one cell iterator. So what this iterator will do, see here, I am placing this r is pointing to my third row, sorry, not third, I think it is, you can say, okay, yeah, it is this r is pointing to third row, and after that I'm saying on that row I want to provide one iterator. Okay, so I'm again providing one cell iterator that will help us me iterating the required row. So if I copy this, so this is my iterator object. So again one iterator object cv will be created. But for which row it will be created? It will be created for this. Let me write it like that. Okay, it will be created for this entire row, this row. But as it is a cell iterator, so its purpose is to fetch this value, first one, and then second one, and then third one, and then last one. Okay, so after that again I'm checking cv dot has next. So before going forward, let me take one new screenshot again. I don't want to create mess there. So I'm saying this is the cv, this is one cell iterator, as I'm, and it is for this one. Okay, as of now it is outside of any cell. Okay, but once if I check cv dot has next, so you can say it will say yes, next cell is present, which is this one, first cell. This condition will become true. Again, we will come inside of this. I think, yeah, like that. If we will, condition will become true, we came here, and this cv dot next will move this CV object, or you can say the CV iterator to our first cell. So now with the help of CV.next, our CV iterator is pointing to this. And if it is pointing to this, what I'm saying, I am just catching that in this variable C. So I am just saying that whatever the value it will give, just place it in the C variable. So what C will contain? C will have the access of this cell. C will have the access of this cell. And if it has the access, I'm saying, let me again write it. I'm saying whatever the cell C has access, get me the, or you can say the fetch the value. So what is the value? It will fetch Rahul. So if I place this again execute it, you will say that Rahul is printed. So this is how it is printed with the first one. After that, CV dot has next. Again, it will check. If I come here, as of now, our CV is pointing to this. So CV dot has next will check whether the next cell is present. So you can say the next cell is present, which is this one, right? Which is this one. So condition will become true. So we came inside of this while loop again, and I am saying CV dot next. So what will happen again? CV dot next will what it will do? It will move CV from here to here, right? So CV object is sitting inside here, or you can say the CV iterator. It is inside this one, and once it is inside, I am saying whatever the value you will give, just place it here. So inside that C variable, so C will also going to sit inside that. So let me write it like that. So whatever the value CV dot next will give me, C will hold on that. And once C is holding this particular cell, I am saying C dot get string cell value. So if I execute it again, this time it will print. You can say this is our second one, Gandhi, right? After that, again while condition will be checked. Again, if I try to, so what you will see, condition is going to true again. Why? Because CV is here, and CV will check whether the next cell is present. So you can see the next cell is present. Condition will become true. Again, we come inside, and let me come inside first. And with the help of this one, CV dot next, CV will come here. So you can say, let me write it here only. So CV iterator will come here. Okay, it will now come to this third cell. Okay, let me remove this one as well. After that, I'm saying we are storing that in C. So C, okay. So what I'm saying again, C is also going to point here. Okay. So if C is pointing here, I'm saying again, let me execute it, and then I'm saying get with the string cell value which is present here. So what is the string? What is the email you are seeing here, right? So just try to execute it. This time it will print the email address. So it has printed the email address for the third time. After that, condition is going to be checked again. So if the condition is going to be checked, so this time again you will see cv dot has next. So you can say that next, I think, yeah, next cell is present. So condition will become true. Again, condition will become true. We will come inside cv dot next. Again, so what cv dot next will do? Cv will move here. Our cv iterator object will move here. You can say this is our fourth column. So cv will be here. After that, again we are saying c equals to cv dot next. So c will also going to point here. C will be also going to point here. It will not point to this one. Okay. Again, what I'm saying, this time, if I execute it, c dot get string cell value. So you can see c is present here. C is just focusing here. So c dot get the string cell value, which is the value. What is the value? Test case number 2. So it will just going to get the value, and it will print the your test case number. After that, what will happen? You will see that there are no more, you can say, column. Sorry, yeah, you can say that there are, yeah, you can see, if I come here, after this cell, there are cells present, but that cell doesn't have any data, right? So we do not want to again iterate. So this has the capability. So it will again check whether the next cell is present. You can see next cell is present, but it do not have any data. So this time condition will become false, and you will see we are not going to come inside of this value. Okay. So again, you will see that remaining loop will execute because but this time this condition will never going to match. So even if it will run for, I think it will run for 2 times, condition will become false again because this is not our desired test case, and I think after that it will not execute. So okay, you can see that after that we came out of the while loop, and after that just this is how we are going to get any, you can say. So likewise, if I instead of test case 2, if I provide 1 here, right? So let us see what is the output. It will work in a similar way and give us the desired output. So if I provide test case 1, so you can see, okay, focus on this one, okay. So we are getting this because I have to explain that at that particular point. So you are getting these two values. But as of now, our main intention should be this. So this is our actual data of our test case, which is this one: first name, last name, and the email ID. If I put uh, test case, then I think 3 here. Okay. So if I put 3 here, again it will work. So likewise, you can have any number of rows in the column. So this is how we have to approach. So I think it is okay. So this is the third test case. You can say this is the third one. You can say this is our actual data, right? So is it clear to everyone that how we have done this logic? Is it clear?
Yes, I, Sumit, I just want to recapitulate one thing. Say a sheet has many tabs.
Yeah.
Say tab 1, tab 2, and tab 3. So are
This one.
we like,
Yeah.
yeah. So, are we mentioning the tab name as well? Because if there are several tabs, how is Selenium going to understand that it has to pick up from test data itself?
No, no. I am saying this is this is the name you are providing. So you are knowing that, and you are providing at the at the before the start of the program that this is my required file. So likewise, if I move this file to here, I think like that. So if I provide several sheets as that, then also Selenium will be able to understand where is the file. Okay, I have
Okay,
moved
so
the,
so the sheet names has to be unique.
yeah, yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
in the sheet,
Even
it has to be unique. Also, the tab names also has to be unique so that it can identify.
yeah. So this is your sheet name. This has to be unique. And if you try to create the similar Excel sheet in a folder, then only it your computer will not allow you to create the similar name.
Yes, yes.
Even if I try to see here, I think if I try to provide sheet 7, so you can say the name is already taken. So there is not going to be any chance where your names will be similar.
That I understood. Like we have to mention in the Selenium in Eclipse as well that from which tab
Yeah,
it is
yeah.
going to.
This is the path you have provided, na? Here, I think. This is the path you have provided where what is your Excel sheet file. And
This
after
is
that,
my experience.
yeah, after that, inside this, we are providing that this is our required sheet inside the Excel sheet. So you have to
Okay,
provide.
okay, okay, okay.
Okay.
Thank you, thank you.
So after that, so is it clear to everyone? Am I audible or not to others? Okay, I think it is clear to everyone. So what I'm trying to do, so printing the data in a this way, we can do one more thing. Whatever the data we are getting. So if I come here, let me create one array list, right? Array list, which is of type string, and after that al equals to new. I hope you all know the concept of array list. So
Sumit, one more question. Like
yeah,
I just the 5 minutes of the initial your presentation. What I was just saying that the imports that you've done, will we have to do it separately? Like the imports that you've done, like say X in the first like org.apache poi
yeah. So
those.
yeah, what this class is coming inside from that only. you can say the POI, whatever the we have imported, you have to import that. Otherwise, it will not work. So
No, no.
this
When we are
this
writing,
yeah,
first we will import them, or when we write this X whatever you are highlighting on, if we write that, it will automatically take the imports.
it will, even if you do not provide like that. See, if I try to remove that. So have you joined late?
5 minutes, 5 minutes late. So just
Okay,
a little bit of
so what I'm saying,
actually.
if you do not import these two dependencies, this is the one you have to import, and
Okay.
this is also one of the, these two are the major one, right? So if you do not import,
Okay.
so whatever the, if you try to import it here, might be that import, but it will throw error. So it is mandatory to import that.
Okay. So when we will be fetching data from Excel, those dependencies
Yeah,
needs to be data feed in POM XML,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
pom.xml.
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
You
Okay.
have to.
Fine.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Okay.
likewise, we are creating one array list. So you will understand why I am creating that. So if I import that,
Okay.
so this is
Okay.
my array list object, and after that, instead of printing the data like that, here is the one where we are printing our data. So instead of printing like that, let me comment that. I will simply say AL, not L, and I am just going to copy this. This is the that will give. This is the one from where we are getting our actual text, or you can say the data. So I'm just storing that. Okay, after that, what I will do? So I will create one class like that. So you can have any name. I'm saying A list. Okay. So after that, what I will do? I will just create one object of the class where our code is present. Obj equals to new Excel hyphen I think demo. After that, I will create object. So inside this, okay. So before making one object, so what I will do? This is the from here to here. I think this code. If I remove that, okay. So I am not going to write that in main method. Let me create one. You can say method like public void get data. You can say you can write any name. Let me create one method. Inside that method, I will provide my whole code which we have written. So let me paste my whole code here. After that, okay, let me first import the Ethos declaration and here as well. So here it is saying, actually it is a uh, compile time. Compiler is saying that if you do not found this file, this is the file. So there is some exception. So this is the reason compiler is saying that you have to throw the exception, right? So after that, we will provide that. And once, so every time, so you can see here if I come, so here is the sheet, this is the sheet. So let me write anything. So what I'm saying, this is the sheet, and every time we are going to get these four value inside that value, and every time we are going to add those value inside the array list. So once we are going to add our required value, I am after this one, we are just simply saying return the array list. So what is our object? This is our object, and it is saying change the return type because you are returning one array list, right? This object is a type of array list, so I'm just saying change. So once you will see, so this is the method. Okay, after that, what I will do? Let me write a string test case name. So this time we are not hard coding the data here. So this is the test case name, and if I so instead of providing like that here, okay, I'm just saying whatever the user will provide from this class, okay. So let me first again with the help of object I will call the method. I think this is the method, right? Inside that, let me provide the test case name. So here as of now I am just writing with the help of scanner class user can input, okay. Here I am just putting the data test case 1. After that, so once you are executing this method, you will see once this method will execute, this is the method, it will return you one array list which is of type string, okay, because this is the return type. So if you have to catch the array list here, you have to again write list, okay, you can provide any name, and once you will get the list of data, list if evaluate list of data. Okay, after that just copy this and just you can use for each loop as well. As of now I'm not using it. Okay, so if I this time, okay, let me save it and let me remove this. We do not require it here. Okay, this class just has the method, and with the help of this class we are accessing that method. Okay, so if I try to run this time, let us see what is the output we are going to get. Okay, what is the why I'm getting this empty? Let us see again. Get Excel data. This is the one. After that, I am providing the test case name here. Is the test case? Okay, I think I provided. Okay, so you have to. What is the issue here? Capital C is not here, right? It is capital C. So this is the reason it is not matched. So let me write small c here. This time, if I run it, I will going to get my required data here. So after you will get the data in the array list. So whatever the whatever you want to use the data, you can use it anywhere. Okay, from the Excel. So you can see that this is the data, first name, last name, email address, and then this is our required test case number, right? So you can use for each loop as well. Okay, so as of now, okay, you can do it by yourself. You know how to do it. So is it clear to everyone that how we have created all this?
Yes.
Everyone? Sorry.
Yes. Okay. So the next question is we can do it with for loop as well as the way you showed in the beginning as well as with array list. So, like for then my question is which process would be best?
See, I think for each loop will be best because if you want to get only this data, then for each loop will help you to get that. But here you can see that you are getting the whole one. But suppose you are going, if you are interested only in the email, then you can use the for each loop, and with the help of that, you can get this. It will be better with for each loop. I think.
Okay.
Okay.
So that's requirement specific. As and when the application would want what, we'll provide them that type of coding, whatever. I mean, whatever it applies. Whenever what type of data fetch it wants, we'll apply that.
Sorry, I did not get your question.
I mean that there is no hard and fast rule as to will be using for while or for each or array. Whatever the requirement would be, we'll be using
Yeah,
it.
it's up to you, or you can say what is the whatever the requirement, or it is up to you. Right? There is no hard and fast rule, right?
अच्छा, ठीक है
Yeah.
ठीक ओके
Okay. Okay. So this is how we are going to get the every data, and okay, I think it is. And moreover, one more thing that even if you provide like this, so if I insert shift cells down, right? Suppose your table is somewhere in the middle, then also your test case will not going to fail. Okay. I have to shift cells down. So then also if I save it, okay, so I think I need to save it in a different. Okay, so you can try it. It will not fail. Okay, as of now, it is asking me to save it with another file because so I am not saving it. I'm saying if your file is present somewhere in the middle as well, then also your test case will not going to fail like that. Okay, so this likewise you can have n number of rows here. Okay, n number of columns here. So that test case will work. Okay, so I hope it is clear to everyone, and so I hope it is clear to everyone, right? I will
अच्छा
also.
Sumit, if the row if the column data has the same data like two columns having the same data, will there be a conflict?
Yeah, then definitely it will because it is coming from here. Suppose if the test case one is here, right? So what it will do, it will say, okay, this is the test case 1 here. So again, I am saying that there will be a conflict because it will now print that first row. Okay, and again, I think it will print that. But you can see the test case number should be unique. So we have to be sure while writing our test case that
Okay.
test case, there is suppose ID is there, test case ID 101. So choose always
Got
the
it.
unique column.
Got it. Got it. Got it.
So anyways, what you can do, I will
Okay.
provide
Okay.
the code here. Let me copy the code. So you all can copy. So I think, okay, I will share it in the classroom. Will that be fine?
You can paste the code as well so that we can
Okay,
practice.
okay. Let me,
Please go through and try to understand, like, in depth.
so I will, okay, I will copy it from here to here. Okay, I will copy the whole code and I will paste it in the chat.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
will paste it. So this is the method, main method, and after that, this is also these 3 lines of code. So one more and then, okay, so is it? Please copy after that. I will because I will disconnect the meeting. So please copy everyone, whoever required. Otherwise, I will be sharing the recording at the end of today. Is it clear now? Okay, so thank you everyone for attending today's session. I hope it is clear to everyone. I will be putting the recording after the session. Okay, thank you everyone.